Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Inside Infinity number 84, The Round Table. I am Will, and you all know Jason Haynes, that is. We have a very special guest tonight. I don't know. What do you want to be called tonight, Haynes? Do you want to be called Haynes? Do you want to be called Hatbox Ghost? That's too much. Do you want to be called the Aussie?
Just Aussie.
Okay,
Just
Aussie.
just someone with oi.
Boy.
Oi.
Oi.
All right. So the reason we're having some name issues here is because we have a very special guest joining us tonight, coming at us from Infinity Inquirer and pretty much any other type of inquiry that you could possibly think of. Jason Greer. Jason, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Doing very well. Excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you, man. Look at all that stuff you have in your background, your podcasting
It's,
setup. You have a little bit of Infinity. You have a little bit of Amiibo stuff over there. You have just lots.
yeah. Just a small portion. It's just I randomly just chuck stuff up there each time. So
I love
this
it.
is turns that up.
It
In
looks
my Disney Infinity sign that I may or may not have took it out of Toys R Us's parking lot when they released 1.0. So
hey, hey, you know what? Statute of limitations have passed, so you can talk
they,
all about it now.
they had 30 of them there. Are they gonna miss one? I mean, let's be honest. So
Exactly. Oh, awesome. Well, I know who you are, and I've seen you on the internet. But for those that don't know who you are, why don't you plug your stuff a little bit? Who are you, and what do you do?
sure. My name is Jason, oftentimes known as Jason Inquirer. But if you're into Toys to Life, any of the franchises, I have a website or Twitter handle and all that for you. So I have Infinity Inquirer, Amiibo Inquirer, Skylanders Inquirer, and most recently launched Brick Inquirer, because I'm not allowed to use the word Lego. But so if you're into the new Lego Dimensions game, check out Brick Inquirer. And then obviously on Twitter, all those is just INQ for Inquirer, but on all four, so ready to rock
Nice.
and roll.
Yeah, man. You do not waste time. Like the Lego Dimensions thing was announced, and it seemed like it was 10 minutes later where you already had well, Brick Inquirer or Lego
Yeah,
Inquirer at the time. So
I'm gonna say Lego Inquirer multiple times. It's gonna be bad. I'm not used to saying Brick Inquirer,
yeah.
so but yeah, I was ready to go.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about was Infinity, because I heard about you as being one of the premier places to get Infinity news, and I was like, dude, who is this guy? I was talking to Jason Haynes, and I was like, you know what? I haven't even like caught wind of something, and you already have 5 articles out on it. So you're so quick out the door with stuff. Did you start with Infinity Choir as far as Toys to Life goes?
Yeah, I started Infinity Inquirer. What Infinity came out in November. It was right when 1.0 came out, like
Okay.
weeks after it came out. Just because I was like, why? I like to keep up on the news, but I forget stuff a lot. So I was like, I'm already writing like blogs per se for myself just to go back and look at. So I was like, well, I might as well just make it public per se. So I just started that, and I had it for a couple months, but then once that 1.0 stopped and there was just that lull, I just
Hmm.
kind of like forgot about it until 2.0 was getting ready, and then I picked it up, and then it started catching wave real quick after that. Um, so it picked up from that, and it was started fooling that, and then I did Skylanders, or I did Amiibo first, in November of the following year, then Skylanders in January, and then
Okay.
Brick Fire this month. So it's piling up quick.
So what is it about? It's obviously not just Infinity, even though that's kind of where it started. What is it about the Toys to Life genre that you like?
It's a it was a big like I liked collecting the figures, so it's more um sorry, I was reading the chat
Yeah,
room.
me
Uh,
too. Logan, a team member, when we were attempting to do a blog, he was kind of our resident blogger, and he says, "No offense, Jason, but when I was doing written content, I hated you. I could never keep up." uh,
so yeah, it's um yeah, I like the figures. I'm a big collectors of like any kind of stuff. Like I was always a big Hot Wheels collector and stuff like that growing up. So I was always a big action figure and everything like that. So it's just more so I was more about the figures and the gameplay
mm,
for a while. So I was just interested. I think the figures are just straight out cool. So
yeah.
it just basically started from that. I'm a big Disney fan. At the end of the day, I'd always revert back to Infinity. So it's hard to beat the Disney part of my life.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you just kind of brought it up, I gotta ask, which is your favorite? What's your
It's
favorite Toys to Life?
favorite toys life's always gonna be Disney Infinity. I said it
Yeah.
from the get go. Like no matter what, if I have to drop them, it's you can pry everything else. That's fine, but you have to pull Infinity Inquirer from my dead cold hand. So
Good answer. Even if you're
yeah.
lying to us, that's a good answer.
Full truth. If you ever listen to our Toys for Games cast is the other podcast I'm on. We always make multiple references about how Disney Infinity is our favorite. So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's by far that. Except for like every once in a while something like the Skylanders will come out, something like this, like the East Earth Trap, and that will steal my heart for a while. But then eventually I'll get
Is,
back to Disney Infinity.
is that an Easter Skylanders figure?
It is a trap
Oh,
for the trap team. So it's like
okay.
it's a bunny, but
That's
it's like
freaking awesome.
it's the most adorable thing I've ever heard or ever seen. So yeah.
Do they make Christmas ones or
Yes, they
Halloween ones?
do.
Oh.
They make up figures falling down. But yeah, they have a couple of Christmas ones and Halloween. That's when I started Skylanders was picking up the themed ones. And then
Okay.
once it's like everything else, once you buy one or two, might as well just buy them all. So
Just
hopefully
keep it going.
Yeah.
Sonic Photo in the chat is saying, what did they say? Infinity Inquirer helped me a lot to actually buy Disney Infinity 2.0 and score mini specials. Yeah, one thing that I always do if I'm a couple weeks ago, I tried to buy, the stupid order never went through, and I didn't realize it until the shipping date passed. But anyway, I tried to buy my best friend a starter pack, and I found the sale from your site. Whenever I'm about to buy something Infinity, I make sure I check out your weekly sales, because you run down anytime there's a sale. Like, even if it's not a big sale, you are going to have a blog post about it, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
I'm a big like money saver person. Like in real life, like I'm a couponing mom, and I'm not a mom, but like I'm a hardcore couponer. So it's just kind of carries. And like let's be honest, it's an expensive hobby to have. So
Yeah.
it's anytime you can save any kind of money. So it's again same thing with the weekly sales. Every day, I'm like every Sunday, I'm always looking at ads anyway, so I might as well just post them up. So it seems to be one of the more popular options of the site. So I'm happy to put that out there and save as much money for people as possible.
So in the last show, in the news roundup, we were discussing the collector's edition, and I don't remember seeing this earlier today. It may have been up earlier today, but I just want to point up how freaking fast you move on this. So again, your site's infinityinquirer.com, and you do everything there. I mean, you talk about sales, you talk about news items, release calendars, figures, play sets. I mean, it's pretty amazing, everything you have up there. So
yeah, the sale. Well, the sale was actually in the chat when Pirate Steven brought it up. Said is like, did you see that was up? And I saw it when I got out of work today, but I saw the price point. I was like, oh, it's got to be sold out by now. And then I brought it. I was like, oh shoot, it's still up for sale. So that's why I quickly got that up there. Hopefully, some people got it in. But
yeah, definitely. That's awesome though, man. It's just goes to show how much you pay attention.
Yeah.
So you run the site, and you do a couple of your own podcasts with a buddy of yours who's actually supposed to be on tonight's show as well. Your buddy Vince, right?
Josh.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Vince is my YouTube partner.
Okay.
He's a good friend here in real life. Josh, I've never met in my life, but we do podcasts. So, yeah, he's out on the West Coast. So,
awesome.
We'll meet up with him at E3. But yeah, he's writes for the Daily Crate, which is a affiliate of the Loot Crate subscription boxes.
Oh wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So he's one of the main writers over there, and he contacted me. So yeah, we do a weekly. It was supposed to be a bi-weekly, but then it got so out of hand. It's become a weekly, and
Nice.
then like with the Lego Dimensions news last week, we recorded I think 2 last week. It's sometimes gets out of hand, but it's Toys for Games Cast on Twitter or on iTunes. I don't have a website or anything like that dedicated for yet, but it's a lot of fun over there as well.
Great. Yeah, and so that just covers the whole gamut of Toys of Life. Stuff.
Yeah, it's if you work at a desk job, it's good to listen to because it oftentimes hits 2-hour mark. So it's a long podcast. So you have to commit to it. But we try to break up a lot of humor. It's a lot of laughing on there, or making Walgreens jokes. We've made Walgreens our unofficial retailer of the Toys for Games Cast podcast.
That's awesome.
But,
is that because during halfway through you gotta take a break and run out and get a stack at Walgreens? Or
No, it was like there was random, like they stocked Disney Infinity figures like 1.0, so we heard a lot of people find like Violet and like the harder to find ones at Walgreens, and then they also stock like random Skylanders traps there as well. So it's like this random like secret hotspot for stuff. And we talk about like the pop vinyls on there and stuff, and
Cool.
they have exclusives there. So it's like we keep joking about like, have you hit up Walgreens? So now we started this rumor that like the Dr. Mario amiibo is going to be at Walgreens exclusive, and there's like people like taking it as like legitimate, and it's starting to get out of hand. So that's
That's
our bad.
funny. That's funny. Well, that's awesome, buddy. We'll give you a chance at the end of the show again to talk a little bit more about your stuff. You're an awesome community member. You also have, like us, have an affiliation with the Disney Infinity Fans Forum, and
Yep.
it's you're an awesome member of the community, and so we're finally glad to have you on the show. And again, it's not gonna be the last time. Thanks, Evilos, for posting the link to the Toys for Games cast link in the chat
Yep.
there. So we'll also include it in the show notes. So if you're listening to this after the fact, just make sure you check out the show notes, and that info will be there. So with that, let's go ahead and actually get around to our topic this week for the roundtable. And I got to give a shout out to good friend JB from Facebook. Had a long conversation with him about this, and he's like, oh, you guys should totally talk about this in next week's show. And I'm like, you know what, you got it. We have the perfect man on the show to talk about it with us. And it's crazy, the ripples that this made. Like, my Facebook just blew up one morning, and this has been rumored. So Haynes, or Aussie, did you check out this news about the Lego Dimensions game? That
I don't know how you could miss it. Seriously, like, it's just
so,
it's like Twitter blew up with Infinity fans just like what is this? People just freaking out. Other people super happy about it. Weird, interesting though.
well, okay, so let's break it down. So, well, it was an awesome comical announcement. It kind of reminded me of the Marvel announcement, as far as how much weight they put behind it. Jason, you're shaking your hand. Do you agree? Or your head?
Yeah, I was shocked to see Joel McHale in there. Like, I heard, like, I think there might have been a report that he was going to be involved with it, and that's why it's a big name on there, and the entire video was hilarious. So it's off to a good start.
And they had like an extended version of it as well.
Right? Yeah, I saw it up on Amazon. I don't think anybody else has it on there, but um, yeah, it was a good. There's some Easter eggs in there which I haven't posted up on my blog yet, but there's a couple of hidden stuff they have in there as well.
Yeah, I haven't. You got to post that so I can check it out and read it, because I haven't even seen the Easter
Yeah.
eggs.
There's an Easter egg for The Simpsons and Ghostbusters in there.
Oh.
So basically confirming both of those coming.
So so I don't know about you guys, but once again my wallet screened out in terror from seeing. All I had to see was Back to the Future in there, and I'm like,
Right.
sold. Just
Done.
give it all. So for those that don't know what we're referring to, Lego Dimension. Actually, Jason, I'll hand it to you if you want to kind of just give a brief description of it, since you're probably a little more versed than either Haynes or I.
Yeah, so it's called Lego Dimensions, and they haven't really fully unveiled what all the game is going to be about. So it's hard to say if it's just a singular storyline, or if it's going to be a toy box kind of element to it. But it's a portal-based game with real life Lego figures that fit on a little portal base. And the thing interesting about it is, which I was glad that they were doing it this way, they're going to have the actual figures are going to be the actual Lego minifigure size. So they're not like, they're not going to be as big as your other Toys of Life figures. But they are detachable from the base, so you can use them as regular Lego figures. So they're doing very good marketing research on that. But yeah, you just put them in there and you can play in a level. There's going to be a single player element. It's its own unique storyline. I forget the bad guy's name off the top of my head, but there's like a main villain that you're supposed to try and defeat. But they're pushing the hashtag break the rules. So they're kind of showing that you can get all these different universes together. So you can see Wildstyle, Batman, and Gandalf all there. So it seems like it's gonna be pretty interesting. I'm curious to see more details about what it's all gonna be like, but they show some gameplay at the end of it, but not like any kind of like UI kind of stuff. But
so you brought up a few interesting points. One is that it looks like they are going to be crossing brands, and so it looks like it might be a partnership with Warner Brothers and Lego. I don't know if that's it, but there's a lot of the Lego games are currently Warner Brothers. And
Right.
it's also, I can't think of the name. It's something Tales. The developers behind the Legos games, which are beloved.
Yeah,
Um,
Traveler's Tales.
Traveler's Tales. That's it. Yep. And so chances are the gameplay is going to be pretty awesome if you were into the Lego games to begin with.
Right.
Um, Also, like what you said, how there's without you can't have Legos without some sort of building aspect, and the fact that you actually have there it is right there. You have to actually
Yep.
build stuff for the portal.
Yes. So like the portal base looks like you don't have to do anything with it, but it's like 262 pieces that you can put together if you want to. Like that's awesome. And then obviously all the like the vehicles. It's weird. They said like on Twitter that you can take the figures off the base, but in order for them to be scanned in the game, the figures have to be on the base. So there must be some kind of chip in the figures as well or something. I don't really know.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Well, it does look like there's kind of a base on there, and so I don't. Yeah, that's kind of, huh. Um, Aussie Jason, does that make you scream out in terror? Having 200 pieces just for the base for someone who just started letting their kids play Disney Infinity?
Yeah, look, I don't. It's so this product is so weird for me. It's like who even young kids aren't even going to know what Back to the Future is. Like I don't understand who this is being pitched at. You know what I mean? Clearly, this is being targeted at a much older audience because all the stuff that they're showing is franchises that aren't that well known to like Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
What
Wizard of
young
Oz out of left field.
that's an
what
obscure
young
one.
kid's gonna know that? So it's like anyway, but I don't know. Personally, I love Back to the Future. Like the tease of the Simpsons and the Ghostbusters is really attractive to me. But to be honest, I'm just not a massive Lego person. So I'll be interesting to see. I think just like Disney Infinity, it makes a good. I think it's a good decision gameplay wise. I like the idea of them just like Disney, which they have never really capitalized on, but the idea of creating smaller Lego game experiences and creating like a playset type experience with a couple of figures, I think's cool. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people complaining about the price. It sounds like it's going to be expensive, but yeah, look personally, I think it's great because if I think this will be better competition for Disney Infinity as far as motivating Disney Infinity to become a better platform. I think Lego will be the ones that will motivate that more so than Skylanders. And let's face it, Amiibo is not even a challenger at this point in time as far as gameplay is concerned.
Right.
Yeah, collecting, but not gameplay.
Yeah, I said I've like my theory before, and like I hope I don't get tar and feathered for this, but pushing it out, like if Lego gets in as hard, the one that has the most to lose, in my opinion, is Disney Infinity, and that's why I feel like they need to come out with something big. I mean, Skylander still has that name; it's still going to sell. I mean, they cross merchandise. I mean, there's cereal boxes, there's anything and everything. But that Amiibo is just this whole other creature by itself. So it's, I mean, if a Lego game is good, I feel like Disney Infinity gets squeezed out. But I mean, Disney Infinity, they're pushing hard. They got to do something. I think Star Wars might be an answer, but
Right.
I don't think it's going away. I just think that's the one that has the most to lose as having somebody in the market. But especially if they have a toy box element with it as well. So.
Well, and so that's actually a great segue to that was one hanging question that my community, or probably all of our communities in the Disney Infinity space anyway, there was no mention whatsoever or any sort of creative space within the game. Have you heard anything whether or not that could be included? And if you haven't heard anything, what's kind of your thoughts and speculation on that?
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing this break the rules, so it seems like there's definitely going to be cross element in the main gameplay. And that's going to be a huge advantage of it over Disney Infinity, which has cross but not really at the same time. And like the main single player game, which is like the, for lack of a better term, the playset equivalent, you can play as everybody, but there doesn't seem to be anything that's going to have a building-esque part of it. But they're making a Lego game as big as this. That's what Lego is. So
Right.
they don't have something, but they haven't really done anything in the past. So it's hard to say what's going to happen, but you would think there's got to be something.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting idea. How can you have a Lego game without building? Well, actually, there's been quite a few Lego games without real building. I mean, the characters in those games a lot of times will build something they're gonna use, but it's not like the toy box.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and right now, Disney Infinity is the only one in that space, in the Toys of Life space, that really has this kind of big portion of it that is all about creating and creativity. So it would be very interesting to see if Lego did come out with something like that, not only how they would approach it, but what effect that could possibly have on Disney Infinity.
Yeah, because there's a main storyline that they talk about with that bad guy who's trying to break, like I guess that's what's called the time shift between all the franchises.
Hmm.
So, but then like the Back to the Future, it's like a level pack, so you get a new level. But is that like a level in the main game? Is that like
Yeah.
a side game? Like it's, I guess they still haven't really explained what all is going to be there. They haven't really shown what the Lego, like the level piece is. Like, is
Right.
that Marty McFly? Like, there's a space in the middle, like a circle, and I assume that's where the level piece goes. But they haven't shown what goes on there because the
Right.
portal says it supports 7 pieces of technology, if you want to
Just
call it that.
I don't.
Um,
I mean, maybe around these edges you put 6 pieces and then one in the middle here. Maybe I know it's hard for
that's what
you to see,
it's.
but
Yeah, I think it's you put a figure, a vehicle, and like I assume there's gonna be some kind of items, maybe multiple vehicles, and then that circle there in the middle, it's got to be like your playset piece. But they haven't shown any of that yet, and I feel like it's got to be on the box or something. You know what I mean,
hmm.
so I don't. Maybe they're gonna rehab new pictures out, but
Yeah.
I feel like there's still something missing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know how it is. You've been following this stuff for so long. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, these are pictures that could change drastically by the time it's released. Some interesting comments in the chat. So Jay in the chat is saying Lego ND number 2 did have a build your own level feature, so it's not
Oh, did it?
unprecedented for for Lego to have kind of that creativity space. The Baroness 89 is saying Disney's not going to let them use. Oh no, sorry, wrong. The Disney library of characters far and away is more attractive. I
Right.
mean, I totally agree with that. I bet Haynes, do you agree that the Lego characters you're excited about Back to the Future, but overall you
Well,
think
if
Lego's
if the
or
movie's anything to go by, like that opening scene where you got the Ninja Turtles and all those, like you can get a cast of characters together that is much more adult appealing, I
yeah.
guess you could say. But then it's like, well, your game's like just like not like Disney Infinity, but like your game would have to be pretty attractive to attract that audience to buy your figures for games. Why else wouldn't like why would I buy a Back to the Future playset over buying the DeLorean Lego playset? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they've got all those things. If you're into Lego, you probably want more detailed Lego. You don't want this tiny little pathetic little Lego
Yeah.
that, you know, goes on the thing. So yes, the characters might be more interesting, but is the game going to be interesting enough to justify playing it? Or is it just going to spawn, like most Lego people are, just Lego collectors? They want to build it, it'll go on a shelf, done.
Yeah.
But as I said, like it's very hard if they start bringing out stuff like that. I think Mighty Joe just said in the chat, like Harry Potter, all
Yeah.
those sorts
Mm-hmm.
of things. Like there's some really cool characters and stories that clearly are open to being incorporated into this platform, which is infinitely more interesting to me than Skylanders, and
Mm-hmm.
I would like Amiibo would be my next Toys to Life if they had an actual game to go with it that was worth
Right.
a damn.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the presumed Star Wars Disney Infinity 3.0 coming out and the already released Avengers Marvel Disney Infinity 2.0. The very first Lego game I ever played was the one released fall 2013, Lego Marvel Superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an absolutely amazing game. And they've not only made Marvel games, a lot of Marvel games, but they've also made Star Wars games. Do you think that the Disney Infinity, what it is and the type of game it is going to prevent Lego from adding, not making Lego in the Star Wars and Avengers or Marvel universe, but at least for this Dimensions product?
I think so. I think at least from the get go, I mean, they're going to see how 3.0 goes, and see how that pans out, and then maybe in the future they'll add it in. You know, they might add Disney core, or the Avengers core characters. later on, but I think they're still gung ho on theirs, want to push as much as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two theories to look at it. Either A, you can double your money, or B, you're hurting your own brand. So it's
If you're
it's
Disney,
how it,
right?
right, if you're
Yeah.
Disney. So I don't think, I mean, they're definitely not going to let them have Star Wars yet. There's no way. But I mean, maybe they're fed up with the Avengers already, got their money out of that, out for your core characters. So that, I mean, I could see those getting in there. But I mean, they even had like a Lego the Pirates Caribbean game. So who knows if they're going to let up,
That's a good point.
like Jack Sparrow and stuff. So.
Yeah, what do you think, Jason? Do you think there's an initial concern or a possible future concern?
I look, honestly, like the head says I don't think they would do that, but to be honest, like I could totally see Disney making the dumbest decision of their life and just go, yeah, whatever, yeah. We'll take the check. You go right ahead. I'm not saying I don't think that'll happen, but like there's a very strong possibility of it happening. I agree with Jason in that it's probably, why wouldn't you, if you've already released all your whatever Marvel figures you've done, why wouldn't you take the cash to go put them in that one? So yeah, I really don't know, but I agree. I don't think they'll let the Star Wars out of the bag, so to speak. But again, it's really, a lot of it's going to come down to what the game is. Like that's
Right.
really
Yeah.
what it's going to come down to, because that's going to determine a lot of things. So the question I've got is, if they build a toy box equivalent, the question is, like, I'm thinking internally, how do I feel about that? And I guess it's actually, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, like, you like building in the toy box because it's the characters. It's like,
Right.
effectively, it'd be no different if you gave me the Ninja Turtles and I can all of a sudden make a Ninja Turtle based experience using the Lego platform. I'd be totally interested in doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very interesting, but not just in general. I mean, personally, again, I think Disney Infinity will always win out because we've got the bigger. We talked about how Disney Infinity is by far the most attractive toys to life set out there, the most purposeful, well detailed, most artistic out there, and I think the game wise, again, if I'm right, and I don't know if someone posted on our Facebook page, and I highly recommend getting out. Did you see someone posted a picture of Sully in front of an original Star Wars
Yep.
speeder bike? I don't know whether you can pull that up.
Yeah. I'll
But I
bring it up.
saw that and I thought, if this game captures that, I will be over the moon. Like, because even just this morning, as I was doing my day job, I was thinking to myself how much playing Disney Infinity really does feel like playing with toys. And
Right.
I don't know whether anyone saw on my Twitter, the other day my girls asked to play with my Voltron, which I reluctantly said yes. I don't know why I said yes. But like, they literally had my Voltron out, the Castle of Lions and stuff, and I thought, totally, they know how to play with toys. I said I want to try and recapture that. I kind of do feel like that when I'm building in the toy box. Yeah, that's the
Totally.
image there. That looks amazing. If I get that feeling of playing with Star Wars figures, I was even just thinking this morning about just the very visual of seeing a stormtrooper bust up like it was an action figure. I mean, that's my childhood. Who didn't shoot at toy stormtroopers? To see them pop like that is going to be amazing. It's going to feel so nostalgic. And so I don't think I get that same feeling with Lego. Regardless of what the franchise is, the Lego look, you're more like it for Lego rather than what the franchise is. Because ultimately, no matter what it is, they still look like just Lego. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is a great point. That although Infinity has its own kind of aesthetic design, it's still very much the product. Whereas Lego is, they're all minifigs as characters, and so they're
That's
always
right.
going to be that as well as their other stuff. So that's cool. And that's actually James from the Infinity Museum, who we're actually having on in a couple weeks. So that's who posted that picture.
Nice.
Make sure he brings that speeder on the show.
No, because then we won't get anything done. We'll be like, zoom, zoom. Show us the Star Wars speeder.
Ramp it off the table.
Yeah, yeah. Make it jump. So all right, Jason, do you although I'm sure you have a certain amount of excitement, are you worried about Lego and kind of what its effect it could have on Disney Infinity, or is it just too early?
I mean, I think from a business side of it, I think Disney's finally excited to have Disney Interactive actually,
Hmm.
posting positive numbers. So I think they're going to push that as much as possible. So I can't imagine they're ready to give up on that. If we know JV as well as we somewhat know JV, he's going to be calling people like crazy to make sure they don't do anything to hurt the brand
Right.
with partnering with Lego. But I'm like I said, I'm always a competition is good kind of person. So I think bringing this in only helps Disney Infinity. Like I said, if it kicks them in the butt and keeps them going a little bit, that's good can come from that. So like I
Awesome.
said, if there's some other stuff we can talk into about like about the future compatibility that they're doing with the portal and the game itself. I mean that's a straight shot at Disney Infinity as
Hmm.
well. So it's hopefully only good stuff comes from this.
It's going to get crowded in retail, isn't it? I mean, like with all this Toys to Life stuff, I mean, what they're like four major products that they're going to
Right.
find shelf space for, and I think that's where it's going to be where the real battle's going to be fought is
Yeah.
how much space a retailer is going to be willing to give Disney Infinity if Amiibos keep moving off the shelf and the Lego takes off. It's like it's going to be hard to push that stuff into the retail channels, so to speak.
That's why I think the Disney Infinity and most stores I go to seems to have an overwhelm. Like they look like they pay more to have more space. Like most of the stores I go to, even though Skyland's still bigger, there's still a bigger Disney Infinity section.
Hmm.
But in Amiibo's small, they got. I mean, I don't know what they did wrong, but they only had like a couple of peg hooks from the get go. But I mean, Lego has like my Toys R Us, there's 5 aisles of Lego, and
Yeah.
Target there's 2 or 3. So there's no they could put a couple there, make a sign, and say go to the Lego section to get the rest of them. I mean, they already have a section of the store, so
Hmm.
who knows if retailers say, we're already giving you or 3 aisles, we don't not giving you any more.
Right.
But it's, I mean, that aisle of Toys Life aisle is gonna get, pricey.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as Justin Boondog Man saying in the chat, no matter what, it's competition's great for Disney Infinity. Make them put out an even better product for 3.0 or 4.0.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of late for this to have any impact on 3.0 unless
Hmm.
they add some insider information. But obviously, it's still well within the realm of ready to go for 4.0.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. That's how innovation occurs. Just that competition. So that's good. Well, gentlemen, I think we're kind of coming up to the end of our time here. Do you have any last minute things you want to say about Lego Dimensions before we kind of give our outros?
Yeah, the only thing I want to mention is there's a lot of debate about the price point.
Mm.
With the $100 price point, you're getting, in my opinion, you get a lot of pieces with it, so it's somewhat justifying the position. Lego's also a more expensive brand to
Right.
begin with, your Lego sets. But the one thing that I like to emphasize enough is that they are coming out saying if you buy this base, you don't need to buy another base for as long as you play this game. They haven't really confirmed there's going to be like a new starter pack next year, but anything you buy here is going to work on every future expansion that they have. So if for some reason if Disney Infinity chooses to make require you to get a new portal next year, if there's a new Lego title next year, that cost gets cut in half to
Mm.
down to $50 per year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's $100, but it's a little bit more of a long term investment because I mean all of us. I mean, I would say most of us have it, unless you bought the digital edition, already have 2 portals. For
Hmm.
Disney Infinity, I have like 5 for all the different systems and whatnot. So it's nice knowing you buy that one. I'm curious how it's going to work hardware wise on
Yeah.
different platforms. If they somehow get to work on one portal works on all the systems, it's going to be unfair. But um,
You're right.
but it's a little bit pricey. But I think it's. I mean, if you're committing to it, is your cost is going to go down over time.
Well, again, you are making a great point. Legos to begin with, just as Legos are expensive, and so that might
Right.
be. And the other thing is there's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Lego hasn't come out and announced a price point. That was just what was presented on Toys R Us website, right?
No, it's a full official
Oh, it's
$100
official.
price point.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, it's hundred
there we
dollars
go.
for that, $30 for the level packs, 25 for their team packs, which is basically 2 of the fun packs, and then 15 for the fun packs.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit on the price on each of them, but again, it's Lego, so
Multiple SKUs is something we all know well too, or
yeah.
far too well in Infinity, so that's not going to do them any favors.
Nope.
So, Well, awesome, my friend. Well, you know what? This is great. It'll be interesting to see kind of how this plays out. Yeah, again, it made waves, and it made waves for me from all my Infinity people. So it's something that's interesting, and it's going to be pretty exciting. But I don't know. It didn't do it did for me personally absolutely nothing to wane my excitement of Disney Infinity. It just made me excited about something else.
Right.
Something else
Time
to
to
spend money on.
move a little bit over and find a new shelf to put this stuff on.
Exactly. So, well, awesome, man. Well, I can't thank you enough. Is there anything else before we let you go? Again, this isn't going to be the last time we have you on the show. But is there anything else you want to say before we let you go?
No, not. I mean, yeah. Just feel free to check out all the websites or follow me on Twitter. Love to have you. Just realized you spelled JSO wrong too. Anyways,
What?
it's this JSO Inquirer. I just looked at it for a second.
Oh no, it's cut off on your screen. So
Okay.
No,
Disregard that.
no, it's not.
it's not. What the?
That's our
Uh,
little dig at you, you vampire, for staying up every night, putting out
Yeah,
the,
that's
the
what you
news.
get.
I'm glad to be backing a
Oh,
pirate here and being on the East Coast. Bringing the East Coast, back on this side. But, yeah. So it's
there you go.
if you're interested in it, love to have your support over at Brick Inquirer. But yeah, glad to finally be on the show. Always love watching the show each week. So,
Well,
glad to be on.
we're glad to have you. And so everyone in the chat, well, lots of people who listen to your Toys to Life cast are saying that you are the sole reason for them getting into Skylanders. And someone was, I think they were joking, but they were like, yeah, I had to stop listening because
Yeah, Josh like co-branded it as like this therapy group, so like you can come and know there's other people like in your situation that's like regretting whether you should buy all this, but it's kind of turned into we started making people buy other stuff they weren't planning on buying on, so like it's kind of going the opposite way. So like our new things, which I know Evil was just talking about, like the new Tsum Tsums,
Oh
where
yeah.
there's like little plush
Oh.
things. We've gotten there's another Amiibo guy, Amiibo News, who we're partnering up with, and he had no idea what those, and he bought one. His child loves it. He's like, I'm just gonna start buying them all. Like it's we feel bad because we're kind of we market ourselves as a therapy group, but it's really just like feeding your addiction. So
That's
we
too funny.
we apologize.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah, everyone definitely check out All Things Inquirer. We will post a link to Infinity Inquirer in the show notes, but then you can get to all of your other sites from there. So make sure you check that out. Again, thanks so much for being on this week's show. Tell Josh we're sorry we missed him, but we look forward to having him on the next time we get you guys back.
Yeah, absolutely. He's looking forward to it. He's boned, but he'll be back.
Next time. Lots of shout outs to him at least, so he can listen to it tomorrow.
Exactly.
All right, Aussie Haynes. Thanks again as always for I don't know why I thank you. You deserve no thanks. You have to show up just like I do. Oh,
Totally.
what? You've been holding out on us? Jason?
Well, no. See, Jason and I had this discussion because it's gonna cut out the frame.
Mm.
Yeah, see his light up on there. So I was like, it doesn't really feel in the headset, but it's, Jason. When I
Yeah.
first did YouTube, he's like, I knew the secret. It's about funky hats. So this is this is like a legitimate Disney Parks thing that I got at a reuse it shop for like $1.50.
Oh my god, that's
So
awesome.
it was my greatest steals of all time. So
That's
yeah, my
It's not legit. This was
pickup.
purchased in park, right? That's not legit. Get yourself into a
this might-
park and get your own hat in park. or
This
it
might
doesn't
be
count.
my E3 hat. When we go to E3, I might just wear this
Nice.
around so people can find me. So
awesome.
I'd like to go to E3. Won't be there, but
Yeah.
we might see you in the at the summit though.
there you go. There you go.
Awesome. Well, so this is gonna conclude this week's roundtable. We have roundtables booked out for the foreseeable future. Next week we're gonna have our buddy, our good friend Disney. What? His name does not start with Disney. Steve Krellin. Steve C is this week he's going to be going to Star Wars Celebration, so he's going to join us next week and fill us in all the info from there. Our buddy James from the Infinity Museum is going to be joining us the week after. We're really excited about that. We're gonna ship him some Red Bulls because he is I believe in the UK, and so he joined us in tonight's chat. Stayed up till like 3 a.m. So try not to make you wait that long, then James. So we appreciate you joining us, and we have a few other guests booked out after that, so we're really excited about that. And again, Jason, can't thank you enough. Everyone, check out Infinity Inquirer. Hope you enjoyed this week's roundtable. Till next time, we hope your week's filled with infinite possibilities. Hope you enjoyed this week's roundtable for the Inside Infinity podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a subscribe if you like what we do on YouTube, youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV. Also, check out our partner network, youtube.com/Res TV. Look for us on Twitter and join the Facebook group where we have lots of good conversation. Thanks again.